in this dark ass basement, like cave ass basement. I set my alarm, but I actually got up before it. Popped upstairs. Everybody is still dead. Like everybody. Like I'm just walking around. It's just like dead bodies everywhere. Like it's just a massacre.
So it's a hangover pill
It's a hangover drink.
that has alcohol in it.
No, no alcohol. There's no alcohol
But
in
you
it.
have to drink it while you're drinking alcohol?
Either before or a while. And we just, well, all of us just chugged it. It was like, like it was it was bigger than what's it called? Those 5 hour energies.
Yeah.
But
But it takes the
it wasn't,
hangover right away.
it, I don't know, it says it, but I didn't have a hangover this morning, which was wild, because I
Are
always
you
have
missing
hangovers.
out on any of the experience if you don't get a hangover? Or would you be cool with drinking the rest of your life and never having a hangover?
Oh, I would be totally okay with never having a hangover. My hangovers
I
are
don't
the
know.
worst of all
I
time.
sort of feel like it's just part of it.
No,
So,
fuck that. That is the worst part of my day. Like,
yeah.
and it's an entire day for me, and it sometimes leads into another. So
I
no,
hear you.
fucking-
Especially at this
fucking
age.
hangovers.
I'm with you. You're right. Let's get loaded.
Two and then the three and then the four. Then you gotta breathe. One and then the two and then the three and then the four. Then you gotta breathe. Then you gotta.
Welcome to the Loaded Box Podcast.
Where we never finish first because we finish last.
Thank you once again for tuning in to the Loaded Box Podcast. I am Ben Morgan. That is DJ Primo, and I know this is a podcast and you can't see what he's doing, but it's a NSS. DJ just ripped the shirt
Yeah,
off.
boy.
It's a no-shirt Sunday, ladies and gentlemen.
I just realized I had to take it off. I wish we could record. We need to figure out a way to record our videos of us, so ladies can get a glimpse of this sexy beast that
We
I
just
am.
told the ladies that they can't be sliding into our DMs last week, and now all of a sudden you're just like, all right, go ahead, slide back in.
No, they can look at me. Like, you can look, but don't touch, girl.
Oh, I love it.
No shirt Sunday in full effect.
I
Let's
love
go.
it. No shirt Sunday, slightly hungover Sunday. It's hot as balls here Sunday, and since we're
Yeah.
recording here, I had to turn my AC off because I don't want it running in the back. So, if this episode's a little bit shorter than normal, that's
What kind
exactly
of air
why.
conditioner do you have going on in there? Fucking window?
What's that?
What kind of air conditioner do you have in this little ass apartment? A window air conditioner or what?
It's just this little one that's mounted into the unit, and this unit is less than 500
Yeah.
square feet, so you think it would freeze up quick, but
Yeah.
it doesn't. So
It's those loud guys.
it's terrible, but hey, we're back. We're recording to our loyal listeners. Thank you once again for joining us. For our new people, welcome. You're in for the time of your life. We are starting our fantasy football rankings episodes. We're going to be doing this leading up to fantasy football season. We'll sprinkle in a couple other ones here and there with some guests. But today we're kicking it off with quarterbacks that we have ranked 13 to 24. So our kind of like our tier two, our quarterback twos, kind of like your backup guys who might be able to slide into some starting roles as the season goes by. We're here to lead you in the right direction. So we're going to go through our rankings. We're going to pick out some guys that we would definitely target, some guys that we would avoid based on their average draft position. So DJ, I'm actually going to have you kick it off first. Start with your 24th guy and just say the guy's names 24 through 13. I will end up saying my guys, and then we'll go back through and we'll dive into these players a little bit deeper.
Did you hear me fart or no?
No, man.
Damn, I wish I would have got that on the tape. All right. So I'm going to start at 24 and just go to 13 real quick. So 24, I have Sam Bradford, Arizona Cardinals. 23, Alex Smith, Washington Redskins. That's weird to say. Sorry, Washington R words. 22, Andy Dalton, Cincinnati. 21, Jameis Winston, Tampa Bay. 20, Ty God, Thyroid, T-Mobile Taylor, Cleveland. Deshaun Watskin, Houston. That wasn't funny, but I tried to make it funny.
Fail. What number was he?
At 19, Deshaun Watson,
Beautiful.
Houston. 18, Marcus Mariota, Tennessee. 17, Blake Bortles, Jacksonville, my boy, the boat. Number 16, Mitch Trubisky, Chicago. 15, Derek Carr, Oakland. 14, Ben Roethlisberger, Pittsburgh. And Phillip Rivers at 13,
It's 13.
for Los
So
Angeles
there's your
Chargers.
quarterback twos. And like I said, I'll jump into mine and then we'll dissect these players. But we just wanted to get the rankings out right away. And by all means, check out our website, loadedboxpodcast.wordpress.com. We're just about to release some updated rankings on there as well. But you're going to get the insight and whether or not we definitely want to draft these guys on the podcast. So check
Yeah.
these out. We'll be doing every position.
these rankings are by no means secret, so we probably will talk about the guys that we have ranked here.
No diggity.
Yeah,
No doubt.
that'll be ranked in like the top 12, and for a couple of us that don't have guys
Exactly.
in those same spots.
Well, here's my guy starting at 24, working our way down to 13. 24, I've got Eli Manning. 23, your boy Tyrod Taylor. 22, Patrick Mahomes. 21, Jameis. I'm sitting out a couple games, Winston. 20,
Yeah.
Marcus Mariota. 19, I don't think I heard this name from you,
Nope.
Case Keenum. Number 18, Dak Prescott.
Didn't hear that one from me either.
Number 17, Alex Smith. 16, definitely didn't hear this one from you because you have him pretty
No.
high. Alex, or not Alex.
Close.
Andrew Luck. 15, Derek Carr. 14, Matt Stafford. And
Unbelievable.
13, Big Ben Roethlisberger. So let's just start with your guys, and we'll talk about whether or not we like them at their average draft position, if we think they're kind of overrated, underrated, or properly rated, and then just kind of dissect them a little bit deeper, just whatever comes up. It's like it's bar-esque conversation today. That's what we're going with. It's just a couple of buddies having some booze. So crack a beer, enjoy it, and let us know what your thoughts are as well. So DJ, let's start with your 24th guy, Sam Bradford.
At 24, I went with Sam Bradford. He's not on the board right now for average draft position. So I kind of want to talk about him right away just for a quick second. The reason I'm putting him at 24 is he's one of these guys that he's on a team that I as long as he's, I always think he's going to get injured, but as long as he is healthy, this team is probably going to be behind or in some shootout type of games, especially with like in Seattle. I think the Seattle and them are going to have like 31 to 38 point games, so it's going to be a shootout type of game. And Sam Bradford's the kind of guy that doesn't throw a lot of interceptions. He's done it in the league, has shown that he can have a high completion percentage. So it's hard for me not to have him as a quarterback too, which I thought was surprising that he was not coming in on the ADP.
Right.
With Larry Fitzgerald there and David Johnson there, and just some of those targets, and the fact that they're going to be in those shootout games, I think he could even go higher. So he's definitely somebody.
Are you concerned at all that they took the Josh Rosen 10 overall, and maybe they struggle out of the gate? Maybe they start like 1-4 or 1-5, and they turn to Rosen, and then you wasted a pick potentially on Bradford. Is there any chance you think that they struggle that early, or that if they do struggle that early, they go to Rosen?
But it's not even necessarily waking up. But I mean, based off of this, he's not even being drafted. So I'm using like a freaking free agent like pickup if I need
late
to.
round free agent kind of guy. So it's not the end of the world if you strike out on him.
You can bring him in for a bye week if your better quarterback's going off the board. So
right.
I mean, but I think he'll finish inside those top 24 quarterbacks just because of that. I mean, the things that I just said. So that doesn't necessarily worry me. I love Josh Rosen. I would basically replace Sam Bradford with Josh Rosen if that was what were to happen.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's go on to 23 for you, Alex Smith. And I have him. Hold on one second.
Go ahead.
I just want to see. I have
it on there.
Smith as number 17.
Okay. ADP is 12.09. What worries me the most about Alex Smith is just that there's not a lot of weapons besides Jordan Reed there.
Right.
And Chris Thompson, obviously. But besides that, I really worry about, him getting hit. He has the ability to run, but he's not got a lot of guys to throw to, so I think he's going to rely a lot on Jordan Reed. I'm worried, but he's a quarterback that's shown he can be a consistent threat, so it would be hard for me not to put him in that top 24. I think 12.09 is fair.
Yeah.
For his ADP.
Yep. Yeah, I would say that he's properly ranked. I wouldn't mind him, I guess, on my fantasy team as a backup. I've tweeted a couple days ago from the Loaded Box account that I think him and Jamison Crowder actually could do pretty well this year. I think that Crowder's skill set and Alex Smith's tendency to get rid of the ball kind of quick to just shorter routes kind of plays into what Jamison Crowder can do. And I know it sounds crazy, but I really like the combo of Alex Smith and Jordan Reed. But at this point, you just can't trust Jordan Reed. So that's why I'm a little bit hesitant on that. I think if Reed could prove that he could actually be healthy for a full year, I would literally have Reed as like a top 6 to 7 tight end, and I'd be fine having Alex Smith as like a backup that I wouldn't mind plugging and playing, because that's Alex Smith's bread and butter. He's going to go to his check down guy, and that was Travis Kelce for all those years. But Reed just hasn't proven to stay healthy, so I'm a little bit leery with Alex Smith, but wouldn't be the end of the world if he's my backup quarterback.
Yep.
Let's go to your next guy.
Andy Dalton is one I probably made a mistake on having him here. Hand up on that one. If I think about it now, there's probably someone I'd kind of replace him with at this point. But I got caught in the AJ Green thing. I mean, it's not like he's terrible. He's always in that the quarterback 2 tier, which isn't necessarily a great thing with the amount of quarterbacks. It's not like wide receiver or running back position. But I think just the fact that he's still a starting quarterback who's able to stay consistent. I think he's a little better than Tannehill, personally.
Nice jab out of nowhere. Just thanks. Neither of us have Tannehill in this range.
He's similar to a Tannehill, but a little bit better. Is basically what I was trying to say. But I don't know. He has his good games. He has his bad games. But overall, he's a decently consistent guy that doesn't make a ton of mistakes. He's just kind of getting effed over with his coaching staff. I don't hate Andy Dalton, so I probably won't see him on my team. He's not being drafted. I don't think anybody will draft, but I definitely see him as a consistent scorer from week to week.
Yeah.
13 to 15 points per game, which would easily put him in that top 24.
Yeah, I don't have him as a top 24 quarterback, so I won't be targeting him. Like you said, it's hard to just bypass him because of that whole AJ Green factor.
Yep.
You're like, gosh, if he's going to finish as a top 5, 10 wide receiver, someone's throwing him the ball. But outside of AJ Green, Tyler Eifert's always hurt. You have a mix of kind of like running backs that you don't know what you're going to get out of. And literally, like John Ross, we've seen nothing from. Outside of AJ Green at the receiver position, we've seen nothing from. So, yeah, I mean, I would love to debate you, Andy Dalton and Ryan Tannehill, but that's a whole episode on its own. Neither of those guys are on my draft radar, with them both being after 24, so I'm going to leave that alone.
Yeah, I think I made a mistake, like I said.
Yeah. Well, hey. It's early. It's still only July. So
yeah, I'll get it all fixed by then.
Cool. So he's your 22. I don't have him ranked. Let's go on to your 21.
Yeah, Jameis Winston, I actually dropped down. I would have had him higher if he wasn't suspended for those games. Makes me a little nervous. It's already getting off to a rocky start, and you saw what happened last year at the rocky start. It just wasn't.
Big time.
Just didn't stay consistent. So I dropped him down to 21. You go in 13.11, which I think is properly rated there.
Yeah.
That's really all I have to say. He's got great targets. He is a good quarterback. You can see that he's a good quarterback, but he's got too many weapons, too much talent to not be in the top 24.
Right.
He's a guy I could see myself grabbing, trying to sneak in. I can see myself going back-to-back quarterbacks this year, like 12, 13, or 13, 14th round. I've already got my eye on a few, and I can see myself grabbing Jameis as one of those two guys.
I agree with what you said with Jameis being just too talented to not be included in this tier of quarterbacks. And I'm right there with you. I think we both have him at 21. So I agree. Yeah, I think he's properly ranked right now with where he's going in average draft position. But I'm pretty safe to say I don't think he's going to be on any of my teams this year. I'm pretty sure I'm going to avoid him. You already brought up the suspension. Look at what happened last year. There was some grown hype around the Buccaneers, and they just fell flat. Like, you never really got it going with him. And in that division's just super stacked. I think Tampa Bay's kind of the forgotten team in there. And if they get off to a rocky start and the wheels fall off, there's the right mix there. I don't think there's a ton of leadership on that team. I could see the wheels just falling off, and not saying that that's bad in fantasy purposes. They may be airing it out a whole bunch. But
what if it's
just like a situation I would probably avoid.
What if it's like the Jaguars, where everybody predicted them to be good 1 year early, and then the next year was the year?
And you would think that I'd be on that train because I was Mr. Buccaneers 2 and 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But and I like Winston coming into the league.
Ago.
I don't know. I don't like this whole suspension thing. I don't like how the year is starting out with them. Ronald Jones, yeah, they drafted a running back, but I don't think he's your everyday guy that you're going to be able to rely on. I don't mind the pieces. I just think they have so many things right now standing in their way that's keeping me kind of just off that Winston train right now. I think there's other options that I'll probably get to here.
Yeah. So my next one is Tyrod Taylor. Now this one, I'm at number 20, Cleveland. This surprises me that he is not being, or doesn't have an ADP. So I think that means he's not being drafted. From a guy who consistently put up top 15 quarterback numbers, 2-3 years straight without any weapons around him.
Literally, yes.
With his ability to run, Sammy Watkins was always out. With his ability to run, and now he has some more talent. He's got Jarvis Landry. He's got Josh Gordon. He's got too many running backs that he has around him. He's got a ton of running backs. One of them, and they're all pretty good. So
right.
They're all gonna. I mean, they're not. It's not a bad running back situation. It's a really good running back situation. But with his ability to make plays with his legs, and now he has a guy who he consistently can throw deep to, and Josh Gordon, I don't see how he's being undrafted. It's crazy. This is the most talented team he's been on. He just took the Bills to the playoffs.
Right.
With the longest playoff streak, like the longest streak of not going to the playoffs. He took them to the playoffs and got benched for a game or two or whatever it was.
Prior to that.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Are people scared of Tyrod just because of the fact that Baker was taken number 1 overall and they think maybe at some point, like early, he's going to get thrown in? Because I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I don't think it is. And maybe it is, but I think that's stupid because Baker Mayfield's not going out there. I think the Browns are too scared to throw him out there right away. They pay Tyrod too much to do that. This is like right. Let him run with the team. Mayfield learn from him and then take over after that. But Tyrod Taylor has to be the starting quarterback.
God,
like they cannot throw Baker on the field and F him up just like they do with every other quarterback. I think they're just too scared to do that right now. I think they're going to let him sit.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I have Tyrod ranked 23rd, so I definitely think he's underrated. I would take him as a backup quarterback underrated. For sure.
Yeah.
This is, you hit the nail on the head. This is the most weapons he's ever been with, easily. Plus Tyrod's ability to run. In fantasy, you can't make up for those points because you get so, like, it's only 2 more for rushing touchdowns in when you look at, like, normal quarterbacks passing touchdowns versus a rushing touchdown. It's only 2 points. But, hey, if you run in an additional 5 and you don't have a quarterback that's running in, like, 1 or 2 maybe for the entire year, those points are going to add up. And that's what makes Tyrod, like you said, kind of in that top 15 to 12 range. He can easily be your team's backup quarterback, and I don't think you have anything to worry about with Baker Mayfield right now. I love Baker Mayfield, but not in 2018.
I mean, Tyrod Taylor is just a quarterback on my fantasy team I love to have. He's a great one to plug in, and if you're grabbing late quarterbacks like me and you want to go back and forth between the two of them, Tyrod Taylor is that guy because he's consistently putting up like a decent amount of points, especially because he's running the ball. And I think that'll just go up with the talent around him.
I agree. I don't mind him at all as my team's backup. Not sure I would want to rely on him right away with the amount of unknown as like an actual starter, but man, get him as a backup. I'm all about that.
Yep.
Who do you got next in your rankings?
This is crazy. Number 19, I have Deshaun Watson.
Oh, gosh.
His average, obviously, I think he's a little overrated, seeing as his average draft position is 4.02, which I think is quarterback number. Actually, have it up the ADP.
He's like the second quarterback, right?
Quarterback number 2. Yep, quarterback number 2. ADP of 4.02. I think I don't know how much more I need to hammer this nail. I fucking hate Deshaun Watson because of the goddamn hype around him.
I know, you like threatened to kill him last week. I'm surprised he's still alive.
I'm going to try to fight him again now. But I think he's going to have a lot of turnovers and make a lot of bad decisions, and it's not going to go how everybody thinks it's going to go. That's just my opinion. I may be way wrong on this. That's fine. But I'm taking my shot here, and I'm like the only one in this
universe.
Hill. I will die on this hill.
We kind of talked at length about this last week. So if you tuned in, you probably hear where I'm going to stand on this. I'm high on Watson. I'm fine with taking Watson, but probably not at his current average draft position. So I'm going to agree with you that he's overrated in that sense because there's no way I'm taking him in the 4th round.
Yeah.
I think he's got potential.
It's safe to say I will not be drafting Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, he's not going to make my discussion today, most likely because he's my 5th ranked quarterback. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about him in the next episode that we do. So I'll save it for that. But I'll go with you today and say I do believe his average draft position is way too high. You won't see him on my team because there's way too much unknown. You're taking a quarterback who's played a little bit more than a handful of games in the 4th round when you can take an impact wide receiver or running back and you can get, like you said, you can get a quality quarterback potentially another 4 to 5 rounds later yet that could get around the same amount of points. Why are you wasting a 4th round pick on Deshaun Watson? So
yeah, it's unbelievable.
I'm with you on that one. We'll definitely talk a little bit more about it on our next episode as well when I have him ranked, but we'll let that one sit for now. So head on to your next guy.
18, I have Marcus Mariota, ADP of 11.11. 11.11. 11. Make a wish. Marcus Mariota is, another guy where I think he's properly rated.
Yep.
Exactly where he should be. I think he has a bounce back year. He has his ability to use his legs as well. But with a balance in that offense, your floor is high and your ceiling is a little lower. So it's like you're going to get a consistent player, right. But you're not. I don't think you're going to get anything huge out of him because you've seen what you have. You're going to get consistent play, low interceptions. That's about it. I really don't have much to say about Marcus Mariota. He kind of is what he is, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
But he's not going to really put up too many stinkers. He's not going to throw a lot of interceptions. He's not going to lose you that many points because of that. And then you will get a couple of games where it's 25 points because he runs a touchdown in or whatever that is. So you
throws them to himself.
Yeah, he's got that, but you're never going to get like 25 points a game from him. Like it's going to be more like 17 points a game.
Right. Yeah, I would say that Mariota's ranked. He's my 20th quarterback, and he is one of the guys that I'm targeting as a backup. What my strategy, I think, going into this would be in a league where I would target Mariota is I would take a quarterback like Matt Stafford or Matt Ryan or Phillip Rivers a couple rounds earlier, and then not too long after that I'd grab Mariota because even if you grab like a Roethlisberger, I'm going to hit on this in a little bit later, but you can play Roethlisberger on the home games and then plug in Mariota when Roethlisberger's on the road. And I don't mind that at all because I think you might hit gold a couple of times. Like you said, if he throws one or two and runs one in, you're not going to probably get that out of a guy like Ben Roethlisberger, especially on the road. So grab one of these middle-level quarterbacks and then grab Mariota a couple rounds later. That's literally probably what my draft strategy would be if I'm going to end up targeting Mariota.
Yep.
Who do you have one ahead of Mariota?
My boy, Blake Bortles.
Oh, geez.
Shout out to Blakey B. He, again, no ADP. I've got 4 guys in here that don't have an ADP. He's at number 17 for me. This guy finished as quarterback 13, playing with wide receivers none of you have ever heard of last year until they came on the field. They were undrafted free agents like Keelan Cole.
Wait,
who else was there?
You never heard of Jaden Mickens?
Yeah, exactly. He was doing that with guys you never heard of, and the team that was running the ball more than anybody else in the league. You can definitely expect that they throw the ball a little bit more. He made good decisions. He wasn't forcing plays downfield. He would check down when he had to. He's definitely learning to be a smarter player. Now he's got a new wide receiver, DJ Chark. Who knows what he's going to be, but he's going to have Lee back healthy this year. That offensive line is incredibly good. People are going to focus on the run game. I think that's going to open up the shot plays for Blake Bortles. He's going to have one more year of confidence, and now he's got that contract. He was 13th last year. I think he's way, way underrated. A guy I would love having on my team as a backup quarterback. And I'm targeting him. I honestly am targeting him.
See, I think we're going to disagree on this one because when I look at Blake Bortles, I get what you're saying, but why I'm not going to target him is because...
And he can run.
Well, yeah, he can actually. Yeah,
really well.
What I don't like about Blake Bortles is the fact that he'd be my backup quarterback, but if I need to use him because of injury, bye week, whatever the case may be, I don't think Bortles provides that consistency because I think they are going to run the shit out of the ball. Leonard Fournette's going to see so many touches, and as long as he stays healthy, the team's going to be good. They're going to be in low-scoring games. The defense is going to shut teams down. I just think it's going to be a clock control kind of game, and those games when you have to plug Bortles in, I just don't think that the consistency's there. You might get like a 8 to a 10-point game out of Blake Bortles, like we've seen it.
I don't know. I just think that the run pass balance is gonna balance out more. Bortles showed that he can make plays. He was, as a freaking rookie, you loved having him on your team because he was like throwing the ball around a ton, making
plays.
plays.
Fourth quarter. I will give him that.
Now he's going to put this conservative Blake Bortles together with that Blake Bortles, and he's going to put up solid 13th last year, and they ran the ball 1,000,000% of the time. Like, it's ridiculous. Blake Bortles is
Those are
always
all
the top,
facts.
like, 15 quarterback. He's constantly up there. I don't understand this. Like, I think people just look at the name and just, like you,
He might
and
be
just think, fuck him.
He might be a product of you've burned me once. Like, I'm not going to go down that road again. Like, because
I
2
love
years
Blake.
ago, yeah, he was Mr. Fourth Quarter. He'd have like 7 fantasy points for you after 3 quarters, and then he'd end up with 25. And you're like,
Yeah, boy.
okay, Blake Bortles won me my week.
That was like Derek Carr and Amari Cooper 2 years ago as well.
Yeah, they were Mr. Fourth Quarters. Like, that's what
The
they
second,
did.
like Mr. Second Half, it's like, oh, second half's about to start. Here comes a 75-yard touchdown from Amari Cooper.
And honestly, like, my heart, like, the condition that it's in, it's okay, but I feel one more year with Blake Bortles, man. I can't do that. It's too much
No, I
pressure.
love it. I love
Too
Blake
much
Bortles.
pressure. Who do you have right ahead of Blake Bortles?
This is actually my big. I'm liking a lot of quarterbacks, as you can tell, but this is my biggest sleeper man crush. Going into the year at 16, I had Mitchell Trubisky.
Oh, man, that's right.
At 14.07 is his ADP, and I am more than willing to grab him in the 12th round to make sure I get him. And he may be my first. Like, I could see myself going Mitchell Trubisky, Blake Bortles. How big of balls would that be?
That'd be
right
all the
there.
balls.
As those
That's
two,
too many balls,
as those
man.
two as my starting quarterbacks. Yeah, I will do it though. Like, I'm that confident that one of those two. I'm pretty confident Trubisky is gonna be. You're gonna see a meteoric rise this year out of him. Though I think the Bears will win around 6 to 7 games, which isn't obviously 6, 7, 8 games, which isn't amazing. But I think you're gonna see huge numbers out of Trubisky with Nagy there, with the new weapons and Allen Robinson and all the tight end and Trey Burton, all that good stuff. I've talked about it over and over again. 14.07 I think is too low. I think he's underrated. I want all shares of Mitchell Trubisky this year. All shares.
So he's
I
not
want all
in my
of
top.
Mitchell.
He's not in my top 24. I don't imagine taking him, and I'm pretty sure I've said this on the podcast before. The reason why I'm not taking him, and if I'm a year late on him, by all means, chalk me up as having a wrong pick. I'm fine with that. That happens in fantasy. I want to see him do it before I invest an actual draft pick into him. Maybe if it's real late and I'm very confident in my starting quarterback, maybe. But I just feel like this team is still, at the end of the day, they're going to try to run the ball a ton. Howard, Cohen. Yeah, they got some offensive weapons, but I just want to see Trubisky do it. I mean, go back into Trubisky's college. He was a 1-year starter. He doesn't have that much experience. He was drafted. The performance was there, but he's the prototype, man. He just has that quarterback build. He looks the part. The pieces are there. I want to see him do it on a consistent basis before I litter my fantasy team with Blake Bortles and Mitch Trubisky. I can't do it.
All over Mitchell Trubisky, baby. I'm all over it.
All right, fair enough. Who do you have ahead of Mitchell Trubisky?
Or I could go like Andrew Luck, then Mitchell Trubisky
That I could get
combination,
behind.
which would be awesome.
Maybe.
What?
We'll talk about Luck here in a little bit later. Go ahead with your next one.
We will. Derek Carr, Oakland 11.08. You don't really know what to think. I mean, they've got a new freaking John Gruden coach coming in. They have no idea what to expect out of him in this offense. He has a solid offensive line. I honestly think he could finish anywhere from like 7 to like 22.
Yep.
You know? So I'm like splitting the difference, thinking that's a very fair rating at 15 right there. Going to 11.08. I think that's perfectly rated. It's kind of just like, if he's there, he's not one I'm going to reach for. If he's there, in the 12th, I'm not going to grab him there, but if he's there in the 12th round, I don't have a quarterback, maybe I consider him, but I'm probably more likely to take Mitchell Trubisky
Wow.
in that
bold.
area.
That's bold.
Yeah, I am.
So I wanted to say this before we even started the podcast, but now's a good time.
I think he's a very good quarterback, by the way.
Yeah. Now's a good time for me to make this statement. I like this podcast, this one especially, because I think these are a lot of the quarterbacks that you and I are targeting. Like, these are the kind of guys, like,
these are the guys I'm going
we
after.
want to
Yeah.
wait. We want to, like, load up on these skill positions and then strike it big with the quarterback that's kind of in that next tier, but has that potential to finish as a QB1.
And I think that's why you keep hearing me say I love this guy. It's like, how many players can this guy love? Well, I put these guys here because those are the guys in my head I'm targeting. I think that can, I can get, everybody besides Deshaun Watson.
There you go. Yeah. Derek Carr was my 15th ranked quarterback. I agree. He's properly ranked there. He's probably a target of mine as well. I think he's a great bounce back candidate. I'm not ashamed to say that I like him and Amari Cooper. I'm really high on Cooper. When we talk about fantasy rankings, you're going to see him
loves
as
Cooper. You always have.
I have been. You're going to see him as a wide receiver 1 for me. Spoiler alert. But
I mean, again, it's out there, so it's not a secret.
Spoiler alert.
It's not a spoiler. So.
All right, so Carr, we all know Carr regressed.
Podcast.wordpress.com. It's there.
Yep, it's there.
You'll find it.
So we know that Carr regressed a bit last year, but 2 years ago he was 7 points away from being a quarterback 1, and he was pretty raw back then. I think he's made some strides. I think he's gotten better. I think we'll see a nice little bounce back. I don't have a. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just gonna say I love his game. Like I think he can be a top 5 quarterback in the league. John Gruden makes me nervous.
John Gruden makes me nervous too. He loves everybody, so he's gonna give him a fair shake.
So that's why I said he can go anywhere from 7 to. I mean, he could be anywhere to 7 to 22.
Yeah.
I just don't know where he's gonna fall. So
I can't disagree
more
with
comfortable
that.
grabbing him in the middle.
Yeah, there's definitely a large difference in where he can finish. I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah.
One thing about the Raiders, though, is I don't have a ton of faith in their run game. Marshawn Lynch and Doug Martin, what are they trying to do? Like trying to get the oldest running backs in the league?
The offensive line is incredibly good, too.
That helps. It
helps a lot. I like good offensive lines, obviously. It gives your quarterback more time.
Right.
Even a bad quarterback can succeed a little bit behind a good offensive line.
Right. One other thing, too, about Carr's situation is a couple of the people that he plays in division, the Chiefs, lost Marcus Peters. Broncos lost Aqib Talib. Those are 2 cornerbacks that opposing quarterbacks struggle with. So I even
Aqib
Talib.
Talib.
Yep, Aqib. Talib Kweli.
That fucking guy's name.
Love that guy's name.
What were they thinking?
I was looking it up though when I was
debating.
Let's
rhyme his name.
When I was debating Tyreek Hill versus Amari Cooper, I was just looking at their numbers, and both of them struggled. Obviously, Tyreek Hill didn't struggle when he played Marcus Peters because he didn't do it. But when he played Talib, it wasn't all that impressive. And when Amari Cooper played those guys, the numbers weren't all that there. So now you're taking away 2 of those guys from the people that the Raiders have to play 4 times. Yeah. I think that's obviously going to help Carr as well. So, yeah, just reaffirming, properly ranked, probably a target of mine as well.
Yep.
Next.
14, I have Ben Roethlisberger, Pittsburgh. 10.12 is his ADP. Again, another properly rated at the 10.12 spot. I'm not going to be drafted. Actually, it's tough. I think he's overrated. Let's be honest. I think he's an overrated player, but I think he's getting drafted where he should. I thought people would be reaching up a little earlier for Ben Roethlisberger. I think they're starting to kind of catch on. The guy's road numbers are what they are. So how excited about a guy who's been in the league for this long can you be for a guy who just doesn't score on the road, who sucks on the road all the time? Mm-hmm. It's just one of those things. He's a guy I'm not going to be drafting. Yeah. But he's going to put up numbers because he has Antonio Brown, so he's going to have those games. He's going to have a 5-touchdown game, a couple 4-touchdown games because he has he has Le'Veon Bell, Antonio Brown, Juju Smith, and James Washington, the rookie out there. So, and then injury is also a concern. So you don't know what you're going to get there.
He's never playing 16 games.
Yeah, he doesn't play 16 games. He ices every part of his body before the regular season at one time. Well, classic picture was that. Did you see that picture last year? He had ice on his shoulder, knee, ankle. That was incredible. Brian Bithroth, that was in training camp, by the way. So I can't imagine what it's like for him, like what he looks like at home and regular season after his Sunday. But it's just...
I'm going to hate to watch Ben Roethlisberger walk around. Like when he gets inducted to the Hall of Fame, he's going to roll up there. He's going to be in a wheelchair, just in ice.
He's going to be in a wheelchair for sure. He's going to have wheels for feet, and he's just going to roll around.
His bust should have ice, like next to it, like his ear or something. Just ice pack.
Not somebody I get excited about, Ben Roethlisberger. So, I mean, he's there. He's at 14. He's going to be at a QB2-ish always. Yeah. So you got to at least know you're going to get decent to good numbers out of him every now and then. So
yeah, I'm with you. I think he's properly ranked. He's my 13th, so he's right on that cusp there between the QB1s and QB2s. And yeah, I'm with you. Initially thought 16 was kind of low. Quarterback 16 I thought was kind of low for Ben Roethlisberger with his ADP. But then you look at his week to week. Remember that he struggles on the road, and you understand why he is dropping that low. Like you said, people have kind of caught on to that, and it's showing in his ADP now.
Yep.
Le'Veon's going to have monster weeks. That's going to dip into Ben's numbers. The road games are going to dip into his numbers. AB.
I think they play Jacksonville this year too, so that's going to dip into his numbers.
That's going to dip into his numbers. Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, Antonio Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Ben's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's starter quality on home weeks. I said this earlier. Grab another solid quarterback in the same range with Roethlisberger and platoon him. Play Roethlisberger on home games. And
find a quarterback who likes to play opposite of Roethlisberger.
Yeah, that's
Find
the thing.
one with easy matchups on his way games.
I'm not going to do the homework for you, but yes, go through the schedule, find a quarterback that has solid matchups when Ben Roethlisberger's on the road, and you will win your fantasy league.
Money.
That's foolproof. Was Roethlisberger your 13th or 14th?
14th quarterback. So my 13th is Mr. Phillip Rivers of the Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers.
We're getting better at that, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's starting to feel right.
Took a year.
I think I messed up the Rams and the Chargers last, but at least I knew they were LA this time, so that makes me feel good.
Right.
Or that time. But Phillip Rivers' ADP is 10.04. I think that's, again, another properly rated spot. What quarterback does that make him? That makes him quarterback number 14. Good spot for him. 14, and I have him at 13 for my quarterback. So I pretty much exactly agree with it. He's got some good weapons. I want to see him get a tight end.
Right.
I that makes me a little bit more worried. But he's got Keenan Allen, who's that target monster. I'd like him a lot more if he had Hunter Henry. I would, 100%.
Right.
He's got Melvin Gordon, who's involved in the passing game, and then a plethora of wide receivers. Obviously, I'm high on Mike Williams. So I think you're going to see a good amount of touchdowns going to him in that red zone area, who's going to maybe act as his plate replacement tight end at wide receiver just because of his size.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers is a consistent player, and it's time for him to get back to the playoffs.
Right.
It's time for Phillip Rivers to be in the playoffs. Make Phillip Rivers great again.
Beautifully said. So I'm not going to go too deep in the Rivers because he's going to appear on our next episode as well, because he's actually my QB 11. So I feel like you're getting great value right now at his current ADP. Instead of talking why I feel that way, I'm going to put it back onto that tight end situation and say maybe that is why he would struggle a little bit this year. Is because all those years, every single year he's been with the Chargers, he's had a security blanket in Antonio Gates. Last year and 2 years ago, he had the double security blanket in Antonio Gates and Hunter Henry.
Yep.
And now you look into 2018, neither of them are there, and they don't really have a guy that's anywhere near the quality as either of those guys.
No.
So, yeah, maybe that does hurt him a little bit. But like you said, there's other guys on that team. Melvin Gordon's a stud when he's obviously healthy. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. I mean, there's guys that are there. I'm high on Rivers. We'll talk about him more in the next episode. But, yeah, the tight end situation is definitely worth monitoring because he's not the same guy probably without a go-to tight end.
Nope.
All right, so that wraps up your 24 through 13, correct?
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to go back through mine, and we can hit on my guys as well. If I duplicated one, it's because I got a little bit of that hangover left, but I think I'm straight now. So my 24th guy is Eli Manning. You didn't have him, correct?
Nope, I don't have him.
Okay, so Eli right now is going as the 11th pick in the 13th round. That's the 22nd quarterback. I think that's potentially a little underrated for him. I would probably target Eli as a backup. I know he's tail end right now for me, being 24th, but Eli's surrounded with loads of playmakers right now. And if they're going to produce, well, who was it that was talking to us about this? Elliot Christ?
Mitch.
Mitchell? Okay, I'm sorry I quoted the wrong guy there, but we'll give Mitch a little bit of love.
Yeah, he said if he has that many weapons, somebody's going to be putting up the points. Yeah, if we think all these guys are going to score, Evan Ingram, Odell, Saquon, Sterling Shepard, then obviously we got to expect Eli's putting up numbers too.
Yeah, so I definitely haven't targeted Eli in quite some years.
Yeah.
But I think he kind of comes back onto my radar right now with everyone kind of predicting a little bit of a resurgence from the Giants this year. And yeah, if all those guys produce, so does Eli. I would target him as a backup. You're getting him damn near in the last round, like in the 14th round. Take a chance on him.
I just don't like Eli. He's got a noodly arm. His arm is becoming more noodly. In his age, it's like I'm worried he's going to turn into Peyton Manning, this year.
It's in his blood, man.
He's going to throw 20,000 interceptions. He's going to do that. I mean,
Hey, man, with Saquon, though, maybe if they have a running game, he doesn't have to take as many chances. Maybe he cuts down the interceptions.
Here. So I'm convinced Saquon's going to have a great year, but he can run the ball and catch the ball, so he's got two ways to score and make plays. Odell's going to get his numbers. I'm not 100% sold on Evan Ingram, mainly because he's a tight end. But I just am not sold as far as that goes yet for this next year of him putting up huge numbers. I'm not reaching up to grab him where people are grabbing him at all. But I do like Sterling Shepard, but just a guy who's getting older, wearing down quick. What if he's just not – like, there's potential he might not even play the whole year as the starting quarterback for this team. So, if he's the reason that they, start losing games, you have to get him out the field with that talent. That's just my opinion. But
oh, yeah, it'd be ugly not to. I still believe the Giants should have went quarterback at number 2. I mean, I know everyone loves Saquon, but, man, I am and it seems weird. Now I'm like, target Eli as a second quarterback on your fantasy team. But months ago I was like, see ya, Eli. Let's bring in any rookie because this is the year. I just feel like they left an opportunity on the table.
I just can't fathom drafting Eli Manning. You watch this guy play it now, and it's just bad. He's so bad.
Yeah,
so bad.
It'll be interesting. I think I would give him a chance. Obviously he can't produce this year. Then he's done. This is it. I mean, with all those people that are around
I can't put him up there. I cannot do it.
Well, let's zip through my rankings here. So now I'm down to 22. I have Pat Mahomes.
So we're skipping Tyrod because we already did that.
Yep. I'll just skip over the ones we already did. So 22, Pat Mahomes. He's going as the 8th pick in the 10th round. That's the 15th quarterback off the board, and I think that's a bit overrated.
Yep.
You still have guys like Ben Roethlisberger, Derek Carr, Marcus Mariota. Those kind of guys are still on the board when people are taking Mahomes right now. I get what you're seeing. There's boom potential there. He's surrounded by some playmakers. I just think it's too much risk. The same reason I was talking about Trubisky earlier. I love his playmakers. I like Mahomes next year. Sign me up for Pat Mahomes 2019. I can get behind that. But
don't sign me up for any of them.
I know that you're kind of anti-Pat Mahomes.
Yep.
So he's probably not on your radar either, obviously.
No,
if you don't
he's not on my board. Obviously, I think he's overrated. I don't want any shares of Pat Mahomes this year. I don't want any shares, basically, of that entire Kansas City Chiefs offense because I think they're all going to be going too high and they're going to play way below all of their ADPs. Tyreek, Kelsey, Kareem, who else?
Watkins.
The main guys there? Oh, yeah, fucking Watkins. Who cares about him, though?
I do. I like Sammy Watkins. You leave him out of your mouth.
Fine, I won't talk about him because I'm not going to be drafting him, so whatever.
All right, so he's not probably on your board at all. And, yeah, I agree.
Nope.
He's too rich at that ADP, even as a backup. With those other quarterbacks that are still on the board there, I will pass hard.
I do not like Pat. I've talked about it a million times. So if you've listened to past podcasts, you've heard what I think about him, and I think he's going to have lots of turnover issues as well.
Yeah. My next guy that we haven't talked about yet is my number 19 quarterback. It's Case
all the way
Keenum.
down. Jesus Christ.
Case Keenum's going as the 4th pick in the 13th round. He's quarterback 21. I think that's properly ranked. I think that Case Keenum, I think I said this last week, I think he makes Denver's offense fantasy relevant. He makes Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders fantasy relevant. And I noticed when we were doing our latest upgrades, I'm much higher on Emmanuel Sanders right now than a lot of people in his current average draft position. So I don't know, maybe if I just have my blinders up and I'm missing something here with Keenum and Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, it could be. We all kind of have our people that we just kind of fall for, and we end up ranking them a little too high, and I feel like maybe this is the one that I'm at. But I am not opposed to having Case Keenum as my backup quarterback in the 13th round.
You should be opposed to it. This fucking guy.
Nice segue. I love that.
I think the issue is that people are seeing that he was in a scheme. He succeeded out of a scheme that worked perfectly for him on a team that it worked perfectly for. A team that played great defense, had talented wide receivers, a solid running game, and they were able to move Keenum around out of the pocket and not put as much pressure on him. It was like a college quarterback, having just one read, basically. I think Case Keenum's bad. I think he's a bad quarterback, and I think you've seen that in the past. And I don't think that 1 year of Minnesota putting up decent numbers is going to change my mind on that. I think you're going to see that here with a struggling offensive line in Denver, a defense that's not as good as it once was, and a conference where I think they're going to struggle and have to throw the ball. I think it's going to be pretty ugly for Case Keenum and pretty ugly fast, in my opinion.
You mentioned that there was a lot of running backs in these quarterbacks in these rankings that you liked, and clearly Case Keenum did not make that list. You did not say one even fairly nice thing about him.
No. Case Keenum is bad at football.
Well, think about this, too. You got the Chargers in that division. They have one of the best secondaries in the league, and they just added Derwin James, another playmaker, kind of like more like a ball hawk kind of guy. So
he's bad.
Yeah, I see your hesitation, but I'm going to give him a chance. I think
Elliot Christ is a big hater of Case Keenum as well, so I kind of want to hear his reasonings behind it. I think they would match up with me, but he's a bad quarterback.
All right, well, let's go on to my next guy, because I'm pretty sure if it's a guy that we're talking about that you haven't talked before, you're going to hate him.
I don't know if I hate. Well, go for it.
All right, my number 18 guy is Dak Prescott. He's going as the 10th pick in the 12th round, quarterback 20. Once again, I think that's properly ranked. I think that there's some decent upside with Dak if he's continued to make some progress in the offseason. Obviously, he has that ability to run the ball, and we talked about that with Tyrod. It's hard to replace that. That really helps. But in Dallas, Zeke's obviously the guy. Dallas, in order for Dak to really produce, I think at a high level, they're going to have to be behind in games because I think they're going to try to rely on Zeke as much as they possibly can.
Yep.
So I think you're really relying on a lot of situational football here if you're going to count on Dak. You literally have Beasley, Allen Hurns, Gallup. You do not have Dez. You don't have Witten. Those were his guys like that he's been playing with ever since he's been in the league. I don't think without that familiarity there, I don't think I'm targeting Dak. Which sucks because I have him in a dynasty league, but I'm playing in redraft. I'm not targeting him more. Say that again.
I think the Witten loss will be the one that hurts him more than the Dez Bryant loss because he did just fine without Dez.
Yeah.
But if I had to make a switch, and I think I will make the switch maybe right after this, I'm announcing this. I'm going to switch around Dak Prescott and Andy Dalton in my rankings.
It's official.
I'm doing this. So I would put Dak Prescott, I think it was at like 22-ish.
We can edit that out. Andy Dalton will not be a part of this podcast.
Yeah, we'll edit that. Not actually, because we're stupid that way. But
no, we're just giving him bonus coverage here.
My hesitation on Dak is kind of what you were saying. The thing that worries me about him the most is the fact that in order for him to seems like in order for him to be a successful quarterback, he relied heavily on Ezekiel Elliott being healthy, that line being healthy. He's not really a guy who can carry the team on his own, and that's what makes me nervous. Obviously, if Zeke's there, I'm a little higher on Dak. He's a good decision maker. I don't think he throws a great deep ball.
He's tough to project. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
he is so tough to project.
He is. I just worry about a guy who needs Zeke. Like he needs him to be.
I agree with that.
He does have a lot of weapons, and people are saying maybe that's going to help him because he doesn't have to focus on feeding Dez, and that may be true, but. Again, he's not going to put up explosive numbers because this is going to be Zeke ball most of the time.
He's the quarterback on a team whose running back is probably going to get 15 touchdowns.
Exactly. You know? So, I will switch Dak Prescott into my 22 spot because of the reason I think Ezekiel Elliott will be healthy, so that's going to help Dak tremendously because he's going to have that running game to take a little more focus off of him.
Yeah.
So but I'm not targeting him by any means.
But he made the top 24 for you.
Yeah, I think he's properly rated there.
Okay. Well, I know you're going to like this next guy because he didn't make your list here because he made your other list that we're going to talk about in the next podcast. Boy. My 16th quarterback is Andrew Luck because, well, right now he's going as the 8th pick in the 9th round. He's quarterback 12. I think he's properly ranked for now. If Andrew Luck can somehow prove to me, I don't know how he's going to do this, but if he can somehow prove to me that he's damn near 100%, and if you're getting him as the 12th quarterback, then you're getting a bargain. But this is what I want to ask you about Andrew Luck, because I know that you're going to talk about him in the next episode, but just let's focus on this. And you can talk about whatever you want, to be honest with you, but I want you to answer this. This is what scares me about Andrew Luck, even if he's healthy. You've got T.Y. Hilton, but then what the hell do you have? You have Chester Rogers, you got Deion Kane, you got Ryan Grant, and honestly, the best target after T.Y. Hilton is Jack Doyle. Like, what do you have on that offense outside of T.Y. Hilton?
I think you're looking at this completely wrong. You don't look at the weapons around all-star quarterback. You don't look at the weapons around Aaron Rodgers. You look at Aaron Rodgers. He makes those weapons into those top-tier guys that you want on your fantasy team. Andrew Luck is literally that type of guy who can take an average guy and make him extremely successful, okay? So he could come out and make Chester Rogers wide receiver 24 this year because he's that talented. He's going to make those players step up so much more because of how good of a quarterback he is. He is a superstar quarterback. When he's healthy, he's back. I'm guaranteeing it. That's why he's my quarterback number 4. I don't care about spoilers because you can go to loadedboxpodcast.wordpress.com and look at them.
And then, I'm not even going to argue that because I liked your answer so much. And I don't know, I think that worked out perfectly. I love your answer, and we're going to talk more about luck on the next one, so I'll let it sit for now. We can talk a little bit more the next time. We'll wrap it up here. I got one more guy that you did not have ranked yet, and I think it's obviously because you have him in your top 12. But at 14, I had Matt Stafford. Right now going as the 8th pick in the 8th round, quarterback 10. I think he's properly ranked despite me having him 4 quarterbacks behind as an average draft position. But Stafford for me is a definite target. I'd imagine that as we get closer to draft season here, I'm going to slowly talk myself more and more into Matt Stafford, and I'm probably going to have him closer to that 10 to 12 range rather than 14 where I have him now. But I think a little bit of concern and hesitation for me right now is I kind of like, and I'm falling for this, and I think it might be fool's gold.
Tell you you're doing it. Don't do it.
I'm falling for the LeGarrette Blount and Kerryon Johnson theory.
God.
But part of me still says they will not rely on the run. At some point, it's still Matt Stafford. He's still going to produce. So, yeah, I would imagine I'm going to end up bumping him up. And after even looking at our wide receiver rankings compared to ADP, I apparently really like Golden Tate. And I like Marvin Jones. I like Kenny Golladay. But I have Tate like 9 to 10 receivers higher than his current average draft position right now. So, yeah, I really have no reason to hate on Stafford. I think I'm just not quite properly focused in on him quite yet. I imagine I'm going to move him up. He's a definite target for me. I'm cool with having Stafford as a quarterback 1, to be 100% honest with you.
Being drafted as quarterback, I mean, to me, Matt Stafford is always underrated. Always, because he's consistently a top 7 quarterback. I don't understand. If I can get him
8th, 9th round?
Yeah, I mean, I might actually take that shot. That would be the one person I think I could take that shot in that round there and actually get one before, 11th or 12th or whatever, get a quarterback before 11th or 12th. He's the one I would do it. This guy's consistently throwing the ball. Mm-hmm. He's getting 1 million yards passing, like 4,000 to 5,000 yards passing.
So you don't think they're going to try it all?
Touchdowns.
You don't think they're going to try it all with this whole LeGarrette Blount, Kerryon Johnson, maybe switch up the offense a little bit?
No, I don't buy it. It's like Stafford throws the ball. Their defense stinks, and then he has to throw the ball some more. That's what they do. They have to throw the ball in order to keep up in games and win games. They're going to throw the ball a ton. It's just what's going to happen, and he's going to continue to put up a bunch of numbers and continue to be a top 7 quarterback every single year.
You know what? Despite your hangover, you brought it today. I'm impressed with your thoughts and analysis. You told me you weren't even comfortable going into this. You knocked it out of the park. This might be your best podcast you've ever done. You answered all my questions to a T. You basically made me speechless.
Yeah.
And then you say after that. And you totally just made it like one of your worst podcasts. Thanks.
I don't know. I was just trying to be humble, just trying to stay humble with the folks. I've got my shirt off looking all sexy. I can't even show it to the ladies. So just stay humble. Stay humble. I don't like compliments.
The downfall of it being a podcast rather than a live show. Well, anyway. I think that's all we got. So make sure you.
Well, anyhow.
Steve Urkel style. Make sure that was quarterbacks 24 through 13. Obviously, you listen. You know what we just talked about. Next episode will likely be quarterbacks 12 to 1 because that's just how the order of counting goes.
Hopefully, it will be a little funnier. I think we were kind of boring this one. I
don't think so. I think you're underrating this one. Tell us what you think, audience.
Are we underrated?
What's our ADP?
where are we going, and are we underrated right now?
I would target us as a backup. That's not terrible.
Yeah, I think we're all right. Like, if you got your number 1 podcast, your fantasy footballers, then we could be that second tier quarterback that you need to replace that when, they're off or it's an off day for them. So we'll be the QB2s.
Bingo. Perfectly said. Tweet us your thoughts on Twitter. We're found at Loaded Box. We've mentioned the website a couple of times. Check that out. Blogs, podcasts, fantasy rankings, loadedboxpodcast.wordpress.com. Like I said, we'll be back with our next episode to talk QB1s. We're available on iTunes. Search Loaded Box. Subscribe, rate, and review. With that, DJ, send us away.
Bye.